Sir, that Purple Heart license plate doesn't get you special treatment. And honestly, that scar looks more like you fell off a bar stool than got in combat. That's the first thing Brenda said to me. And let me tell you, the sting of that casual cruelty, yeah, it's something you don't forget, not after 70 years of carrying yourself with dignity, not after wars and memories, and the ache that comes from shrapnel buried deep under your skin. So, there I was, just trying to board a flight to San Diego for the annual reunion with my old Marine recon buddies, when this young gate agent with too much makeup and not enough patience decided today was the day she'd show a little power. Now, I wasn't asking for an upgrade, not a free drink, not even a smile. Just a few extra minutes to get down that impossibly narrow aisle before the Stampede. If you've ever had a bum hip, you know what I mean. The VA card in my hand, my Purple Heart license plate glinting out in the parking lot. Those weren't for show. They were reminders, maybe a little faded, but real, of times and places most people would rather forget. Brenda, though, didn't see a veteran. She saw another old guy angling for a perk. Sir, pre-boarding's for folks who can't walk or families with kids. You seem fine to me. I could have argued. Instead, I just told her politely that the pain didn't make me limp all the time, but it made things slow, especially in tight quarters. I pointed to my hip, told her about the shrapnel from a jungle ambush so long ago it feels like it happened to another man, and she smirked. Shrapnel, huh? That license plate yours, too? Trying to use that for special treatment. People in the line started turning around, some with those looks of amusement, annoyance, a couple with quiet sympathy. You know the kind. It's like everyone's sizing you up, deciding if your pain is real or just another excuse. That's when she spotted the scar on my eyebrow, barely visible after all these years. Let me guess, got that storming a beach, or did you just fall off a bar stool after one too many war stories? She said. And man, the room spun for a second. I've faced enemy fire with less venom. I found my voice steady, even and I told her she had no right to question my service or my injuries. Her arms crossed, tone hardening. She said, "You don't meet the criteria today. Gate agent has final discretion." My discretion says you're zone 4. Just like that, dismissed. I could have made a scene, but that's not my style. I stepped away, chest tight with humiliation, and found a seat near the edge of the gate area. It hurt a deep, familiar ache, both in my hip and somewhere further in. The pre-board line moved on without me. I watched the families, the folks in wheelchairs, the parents with strollers, good people, all of them, but I felt invisible, maybe even less than that. Not just for myself, but for the guys that didn't make it home. Sometimes you carry it for them, you know? I almost left. Just said screw it, drove home, skipped the reunion. But there's something about seeing the old crewmen who get it, who remember. I wasn't going to let this woman, or her ignorance, keep me from that. So I pulled out my phone. The airline had a special veterans feedback line, supposedly monitored by people who understood. I sent a quick, clear email, no drama, just the facts. Name, flight, agent, what happened. Hit send. Didn't expect a thing to come of it. Time passed. They called Zone 1, Zone 2, and there I sat, feeling every year in my bones. Brenda kept up her brisk routine, calling people forward like nothing happened. But then, as Zone 3 was called, the jet bridge door opened, and out stepped the Captain Eva Rostova. You want to talk about presence? She had it, crisp uniform, sharp eyes, late 40s maybe, the air of someone who doesn't take shortcuts or tolerate nonsense. She scanned the crowd, eyes landing on me. "Sergeant Frank Miller," she called, clear enough for everyone to hear. I stood up, a little wobbly but proud. "Yes, ma'am," I said. She introduced herself, then right there in front of everyone snapped off a salute so perfect it made the whole place freeze. "Sergeant Miller, it has come to my attention that you were treated with profound disrespect by a representative of this airline. On behalf of the crew, I apologize. That's not how we honor our nation's heroes." My hands were shaking, not from weakness but from the force of emotion. Brenda's face turned white. Captain Rostova kept going, loud enough for all to hear. "Your service and sacrifice entitle you to far more than pre-boarding. You were also denied seating consideration for your injuries. As captain, I have the authority to assign seats. My first officer will take my place in the cockpit. Me, first class seat is yours. Yeah, you heard that right. The captain gave up her own seat. Gasps all around. I try to protest, but she cut me off firm but gentle. It's absolutely necessary. It's a matter of honor. And correcting a grievous error. Then she turned to Brenda, ice in her voice. Gate agent, you'll transfer Sergeant Miller's luggage to first class, process his new boarding pass, and report to the station manager's office. I'll be filing a full report. Brenda couldn't even look up. She just nodded, hands shaking. Captain Rostova offered me her arm, said she'd be honored to escort me herself. So there we went, side by side, down the jet bridge, past the crowd. A couple of people clapped, but most were just stunned. The flight attendant up front greeted me by name, with a smile and a nod, and I sat down in one, still not quite believing it. The captain came by again before takeoff, apologized one more time, told me her own father was a Marine, and that she took this kind of thing personally. When we landed in San Diego, I found out Brenda had been suspended pending an investigation. The airline put out a public apology not using my name, as I asked Stan set up a retraining program for all staff, with real veterans leading it. They even donated to the Wounded Warrior Project. My buddies at the reunion were furious at what happened, but even more moved by what the captain did. We raised a glass to her that night, and a couple of the guys said they hadn't seen justice served that cleanly since boot camp. I didn't ask for any of this. Never wanted a spotlight. But that day, because one person stood up and did the right thing, a whole room saw what honor really looks like. And the woman who tried to dismiss my scars? Well, she learned something about the power of a uniform in the ground and in the sky. You know, real leadership isn't about the stripes or the titles. Sometimes, it's about seeing someone's pain even if you can't see it all. Sometimes, it's about giving up your own comfort to make something right. That's what I'll remember from that flight, and I hope you do too. So, tell me, who do you think was right? The gate agent who judged a book by its cover, or the captain who knew what respect truly means? Where do you draw the line between policy and compassion? Let's hear in the comments, because I think we could all use a little more honor and a whole lot less judgment at every gate in life.